Okay, another gun video, my favorite. But this is a Smith & Wesson Shield 45 caliber. And we'll be talking about it a little bit today, because we always check them. Empty magazine, empty gun. No rounds, no magazine, no such thing as an unloaded gun. But I've had this one a little while, and I carried it for a little bit, but then I decided it just wasn't for me. For one thing is that there's no way to adjust the back strap. It's a very flat gun. As you can see, it fits up tight against your body, reduces the printing, so people can't tell you're carrying. It's a very good gun for that, but it doesn't work for me because when I hold this gun and I put my finger in the trigger guard, it's sticking out that much. That's not proper finger placement on a trigger. It should be back in here, not out here. But when you're in a defensive situation and you draw your gun, you're going to be pumping adrenaline, you're going to grasp that gun, you're going to come around and you're going to fire. And that finger's in there like that, more than likely it's going to pull your shots off. It's going to pull them off that way. So that's not really responsible shooting, because you got to remember other people around you. Even though the bad guy deserves what he gets, other people don't. But that's why I'd have to just think all the time, pull my finger back. So I quit carrying it. There's no way to adjust that. And it's a nice gun. I mean, if you like to carry a 45, I'm not knocking it. And if you had the hands to go in there and do that, that's okay. Or you might not even care. I mean, if you just want to get out there and get some bullets on the target, it's close enough. Maybe you don't have to worry about it. But me, I just don't care for the finger placement on the trigger. When I come around in a defensive situation, you're going to have to think, pull your finger back. And another thing is I'm getting away from 45s. I just don't like the recoil on a 45, especially a gun like this. This gun right here, it just recoils up too much compared to a 9mm. And you have to bring it back down. It takes harder to get back on target. But now a 45 would be good in a big gun. I've never tried that. I mean, they do have the full-size gun, double stack. But maybe one day I'll try one of them. But this is the only 45 I got left. I used to have 3, but I've traded them off for various reasons. And so I'll probably keep this one, since that's the only one I got, in case I do want to carry a 45. But later on I might try one of the bigger full-size guns. And that's another thing, this one here, the most you can carry in this thing is 8 rounds. And that's okay. If you can hit somebody with a 45, you're more than likely you're going to stop them, more than likely. But nowadays, 8 rounds, if you've noticed the news, you're not seeing as many single attackers as you are 2, 3, 4, sometimes I've seen 5. And if you start shooting, you've got 8 rounds to knock down 5 people. That gives you 3 times the miss. And that's pretty bad odds, if you ask me, for just a normal shooter. And so I just decided I wanted to go with something a little bit more, and I could get a 9mm and carry 16 rounds to start with, and another 15 round spare magazine. So I decided to get away from that. So it's the capacity and the recoil and the narrowness where my finger places on the trigger. I decided to retire this one and go to the 9mm. This is a good gun. It comes with 2 magazines. It comes with a 7 and a 6. And now, they give you this little one here, that the smaller capacity, because it's supposed to be easier to carry because it doesn't stick out, because it's you know, smoother. But even with one in the chamber, you've got 7, and so that's just 7 rounds. And here's one that gives you 7 rounds, but it sticks out more. And one in the chamber gives you 8. So you got 14 rounds there if you're counting a reload. But my philosophy is, why do you want to keep the one that carries the most round in your pocket? And then you're depending on a reload to get your most rounds back in your gun, where you might stop the threat. That last bullet might stop the threat, and you don't need a reload. Whereas this one, you might need that one extra bullet, and it's over here in this other magazine. So I've always carried this one here when I was carrying it, and then I decided I just didn't care for 45s anymore. But it's a good gun. If you want a gun that's nice to carry, if you want to carry a 45, it's a good gun. Prices are coming down on guns now, so you should be able to get this one pretty good. But that's my feelings on this one. I'll always keep it. But that's a 45 Smith & Wesson Shield. So y'all have a good evening.